What's up, you guys? Happy Monday! I think I shrunk from my last live video. So I was just live inside of our Diet Busters group. Haven't been on this page as much. We launched our Diet Busters Facebook group. I'm going to explain the name for a second because the idea is that like it's Mythbusters, but it's Diet Busters. So we're going to bust all the myths about weight loss and performance and energy and all of those things. So that's why it's named that. But anyways, we launched that group in the end of December. It's been amazing. We are almost to 1,500 people. We launched our first program 7 weeks ago. Well, it started 7 weeks ago. We had 63 people join us. It's been amazing, right? So we're opening up our next round, which some of you guys may know about, some of you may not. So if you're interested, let me know. I can give you some information. But I have to laugh, you guys. Side note, my daughter just slipped these pictures she's been drawing for me underneath the door while I was going live. I was trying really hard not to get distracted. But so I want to talk today about cost versus investment. And you can look at this through the eyes of our program, or you just look at this through the eyes of life. But I really want you guys to start to think about something because it's very important. Okay. So we've been entrepreneurs for 20 years. We've owned our own business. Like my family had a business. Like I've been in the business world as an entrepreneur for basically most of my life. And I think one of the things that I believe entrepreneurs sometimes think differently, right? Like if you followed me at all, you kind of know my story. I'm a commit first, figure it out person. Like I'm just like, yeah, let's do the thing, right? Like when we launched this Diet Busters group and this new company, essentially, Jen, who is our business partner, we met her in November. We launched the program in December, like the end of December, so like a month and a half. The same thing with Brandon and I. We met. We opened the gym 4 months later. So when you know, right? And I truly believe like that's a learning how to listen to your intuition and do all of those things. But I also know that time is an investment and money is an investment, right? And so what I want you guys to think about is, our current program, hi Phyllis, it's $397 for 8 weeks, right? So, we have people who are like, yeah, that's a lot of money. And I totally get that. Like absolutely been in places in my life where $400 seemed like a ton of money. But I want you guys to think about this too. Like, I'm going to just tell my story because I believe that's the easiest way to come from. So I was in a bad place with food, with my body. I was anorexic. I was bulimic. I had disordered eating for a very long time. And if you've been, friends with me for a long time, you know this. But if not, so 4 years ago, I was looking for a better macro coach, which was crazy because I didn't need more education. Like what I actually needed was to figure out what was going on a deeper level. I went to a website, landed on a podcast with who became my mentor. And I heard her talking and she was talking about the emotionality of food and all of these things. And I started crying and I was like, oh man, I got some stuff here I need to work on. Right. So 2 weeks later, so it was like the next day, it was right before Mother's Day. The next day I filled out the application for the program. I did not know what it was going to cost. The gym was not in a great place. Our building had just been sold. Like financially, we were not super stable, like just being totally transparent. I almost canceled the call with who I thought would be a salesperson from the program was Hungry for Happiness. I assumed it would be a salesperson. I almost canceled the call. I was like, I can't do this. I can't make this investment. I made all the excuses. I chose to show up for myself and I did the phone call. And it was Sam. So Samantha Skelly, if you follow her. So it was Sam. And I was like, oh my gosh, she was like a celebrity because as soon as I found her, I listened to everything else, like everything she'd ever put out there, right? Have you guys ever done that? And she's like, hey, it's Sam. And I was like, oh my God, it's Sam, blah, blah, blah. So I had this conversation with her and she's like, yeah, cool. The investment is $12,000. You just need $1,000 to get started. And I was like, okay, I'm in, right? She asked me the question, like, do you have time? And I was like, I don't have time. Like I'm a mom of 2 little kids, like little kids. They were little back then. I was like, no, I don't have time. And no, I don't have the money. And I'm doing it anyway, because I knew that my life, if I did make some changes, was going to stay where it was, right? And so I think when you think about cost versus investment, this is what I want you guys to look at. So when you're looking at life, right, there's cost. What does it cost you? To me, like buying a pair of jeans is a cost. Like I don't have a return on investment when I buy a pair of jeans, other than maybe I think I really look good in them and I feel confident when I wear them, right? But like they're a depreciating asset. I'm not going to resell them most likely, right? And so like that's a cost, right? It costs me that, right? When I buy food, that's an investment. I'm investing into my health. If I buy alcohol, it's probably a cost because I might have been investing in my happiness or my joy or whatever I thought I was investing in, but that's probably actually a cost, not an investment, because it actually did make me more healthy, right? So when you look at coaching, and that's what I want to talk about today, is like, for me, if you guys are looking at our program and you're curious about it, if you're worried about the cost, I want you just to take a second. There's no judgment with any of this, but I want you to take a second and go, is this costing me something, right? Is it going to cost you money? Yes. But are you investing in yourself, right? And I think most of us we don't do that, right? Like I posted a thing today about how many people went to college, just out of curiosity of like how many of us went to college and then don't use our degree. But like if you invest in yourself and if you come out on the other side with understanding your physiology, understanding how you can nourish your body, understanding why you do what you do, having a spiritual awakening, like if you learn all of these things and it forever changes your life, right? Like my original investment was $12,000. I would never change that ever in a million years, right? And did I have to get creative? Yes, I was part of a supplement company. I went and made some more money. I hustled my butt off. I saved. Like I did all those things. It forever changed my life and who I am as a human, right? And so if you could spend $397 and have a quarter of that change and have some understanding of how to feed your body, why you do what you do, how you can stop self-sabotaging, how you can create willpower. Like if you could learn all that kind of stuff, what is that investment worth, right? Phyllis says, yes, so much wasted money. Put your program on a program that's holistic and people that care about you. Phyllis, thank you. Phyllis is in our program right now. But like, so it shouldn't be a cost, right? But and if you think about investing in yourself, and a lot of us are like, well, that's selfish. I get that. But it's not, because I promise you, like, if you're like, but I only can spend money on my kids or on this or on that, like, when you invest in yourself, the ripple effect is huge, right? Because if you go to our Diet Busters page, I just interviewed one of our clients, Tiffany, and she's like, I'm a better mom, I'm more patient, I'm better with my kids, I like all of these things. It's like you can invest 8 weeks of time, right? Some time for yourself, which you need to be giving yourself anyway, and you could spend $397 and you can be a completely transformed person from the inside out in 8 weeks. What's that really worth to you, right? Like my opinion, you guys, is a $5,000 program, right? I 100% like not being egotistical, but like if you work with me one-to-one to do these same things, it's $5,000, right? So $397 is an investment in your health, in your life, and in all of those things, right? But go think about your life in general, right? Like where do you invest? So that was my question today about college, which I found really interesting because like I went to college. I'm going to say that I sound really spoiled right now. I actually have no idea what my parents paid for college. I went to CU Boulder in 1995. I actually don't know what it cost them, which is amazing that I didn't have to take on that burden. But college is not cheap. But then I want you guys to think about how many of you actually use your degrees. Like how much money do you waste in your life or have you wasted that didn't serve you? Or how much did you spend and how much did you learn, right? Was it a cost or was it an investment? Like I learned some stuff in college. Don't get me wrong. I think there was some good value, but like, have I made a return on investment from what I learned in college to like how I'm actually earning income now? Probably not. But like, if you make an investment in your health and it changes your performance and your energy and your sleep and your stress and your relationships and like everything about you and your confidence and your consistency, like what kind of investment is that worth, right? And to me, I think it's invaluable, right? But obviously, like our goal is to over deliver. Hi, Terry. Like over deliver for what we're promising, right? So I just want you to think about that. If you're thinking about our program or any program, like I don't even care if it's ours, right? Like if you're thinking about investing in a coach, if you're thinking about investing in a program, like what are you getting? What's the value compared to what the investment is, right? And I'll be totally honest, like we invest in Hunger for Happiness. We invested literally, you guys, our last, and I'm not saying you got to do what we do, but I'm just saying we've been there, right? Like our gym got sold, our building got sold. We literally did not have the money to pay what they were going to pay. So we went from a single owner, they sold our building and they tripled our rent overnight. We could not afford triple the rent, right? So we were like, well, we either have to get a better skill, right? We have to like get more knowledge and get more understanding and learn how to do marketing because we never did marketing. We were there for 8 years and it was word of mouth. We invested $1,000 a week, you guys, a week in this program, and then another about $900 a week in Facebook ads to grow our gym. And it worked. We worked our butts off. We put in the time and it worked, right? But like literally, we paid that one company $62,000 to coach us and to teach us so we could learn and we could grow, and another like 42,000 on Facebook ads, right? But again, if what we were investing was compared to what we were getting out of it, we still were on top, right? So think about, if you're thinking about investing in yourself, what could get better in your life? What do you desire to get better? And if you invested that time and that money and maybe you reallocated the funds from going to Starbucks, I had to do that, like from going to Starbucks or doing the thing, like what would change in your life? What are the things you want to change in your life? And if you can learn about yourself and you can learn how to take action, you can learn why you do what you do, and you can do that for the rest of your life, what would that investment be worth? So that is my little talk today. Tomorrow I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk to you guys about cost of inaction, because I think we think so much about like, what's it going to cost me? What am I going to get out of it? But then we don't think about what's the cost of inaction. So come back tomorrow and we're going to talk about that. Terry, Phyllis, everybody else out here, I'll see you guys later. Have a great Monday.